Good afternoon everybody, welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson here with Scott Newton for another round of the Sim Racers Asia Proto-GT Series. We are at Suzuka today, and I have to say, I think this is going to be a bit of a thrilling race. So the Radicals certainly got the advantage around here, and then GT1s and GT3s, but I think it's going to be a good little fight in and amongst the classes. Scott, welcome. Thanks for coming along, doing the stream, working the cameras, all that goodness. How you feeling, and how do you think this race is going to play out today?
Alex, everyone. Yeah, doing pretty well. Yeah, to be honest, I think it's going to be a fantastic race today. Suzuka, looking at the weather, it's 26 degrees ambient, 55% humidity, partly cloudy with a small northerly wind of 3 kilometers an hour. So yeah, it should be good, fun race today. Looks like it's going to be tricky conditions with the 40-ish degree track temp as well. So it will be good to see how all the classes fare today.
Yeah, for anybody who's new to this series, just go through a quick couple of basic rules. So mandatory pit stops in all categories. The GT1 and the Radicals are not fuel restricted, but the GT3s are. So they're probably going to have a slightly longer stop than the other guys. I expect the Radicals and the GT1s just to have basically a stop and go. So just pull in, get the car. It has to register as stopped inside iRacing. So if they just sort of roll through the pit very, very slow, like 2 or 3k, it won't register as a pit stop, and there'll be basically a penalty for it. So you have to go physically stationary and away. But that can be tricky because sometimes the sim doesn't release you straight away, so there can be some variations in pit stops there. So keep an eye out for that. It can be quite exciting as it all changes around. And of course, the 3 classes, surprising how even they actually are. So we've had sort of overall winners from GT1 or the Radicals this season. So I think here, as I was saying, definitely going to play into the Radicals' hands, the extra downforce that it has, as you can just see there. Well, I think actually coming down the back straight, there was very similar speeds But yeah, the GT1 certainly has the edge in straight line speed, and the Radicals find it difficult to overtake. So if they have a mistake earlier on and get caught behind some GT1s or anything like that, it's going to be very difficult for them to get back up to sort of their fellow competitors in the Radicals. So keep an eye for people getting stuck in traffic. Makes timing your pit stop very, very important, of course. Right, Scott, any chance you can just sort of quickly run through the top 5 in the championship standings? Just let people know how we're doing.
Yep, okay, so currently in the top 5 for GT1, currently leading Katerina Buafia on 108 points. Close behind him in second place, Houston Vries on 102 points. Third, DK Lee on 70 points, so quite a big gap from second to third. And Dika Rama Maluna in P4, 1 point behind DK Lee, and running up the top 5 on 55 points is Steve Arcade. In the Radical class, Ross Rizzo currently leading on 129 points. Good win last week at Donington Park. And second place in the Radical on 95 points, Steve Callahan. Third place, Yasmin Yali, 3 points behind Stephen. Fourth place, Kevin Huang on 80 points, and finally Lazarati on 79 points, rounding up the top 5 in the Radical. And in the GT3 class, Adam Zeitzinger, Pro Force Racing, currently leading on 108 points. Ben Hackerson in second place on 87 points. Ahmad Nirazam, big gap behind him on 59 points. Brenton Jackson in fourth place on 53, and Canavasol, not here last week, but still in the fight on 50 points. In the team championship at the moment, currently leading is Pro Force Racing on 338 points. Wide Lab Motorsport in second place on 219. Close behind them, Macau Sim Racing in third. Archipelago Racing, bit of a gap behind Macau Sim Racing, but still in fourth place. And iRacing Korea running at the top 5 in the team championship.
Very much for that, mate. Worth pointing out as well, for again those that don't know, the GT3 class is broke down into 2 categories as well. So we have Pro-Am and we have Clubman as well. So you can keep an eye on who's in what class via the overlay. There's obviously all the classes are color coded, and then underneath the drivers' names as well, it'll also have their team name and also their category, whether they're Pro-Am or Clubman, if it's available. So yeah, keep an eye on that. But leading the Clubman series is Brendan Jackson, so doing a great job. They're right in the top 5 as well of the overall, so performing really, really strongly. Just taking a quick look at qualifying, as we've only got about 3 minutes or so left to go. As I was saying, the Radicals definitely have the advantage. Ross Rizzo looking strong and confident based on his performance last week as well. So currently sit provisional pole. Fastest time so far 1:55.381. So according to my screen, it's about a half a second quicker than Anthony Winkelmann right now, Scott. So Rizzo really finding some form at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed it in the practice times. I think Winkelmann was just ahead, or Rizzo might have been a tenth or so quicker. But yeah, it's definitely very, very close between those 2 drivers. But yeah, Radical's definitely going to have the advantage today. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good battle up front.
Ben Hackerson leads the way in the GT3s. And then who do we have for the GT1? Sure, off of that list, there's a few people not out there, so I'll bring that up when we get to that. But yeah, I think Winkelmann he hadn't done much practice, had he, last week? He was sort of learning as he went. He was very quick in the race, but just prone to the odd little mistake, and I think that's why he didn't have a really strong result. But he certainly had the pace to do that, so we'll see. Rizzo just made a bit of a mistake on his last lap, so he's going to go for one more. Just about squeezed that in. Adam Zeitzinger as well, he's out there right now trying to prove his position. And worth pointing out as well that for any driver who, so anyone again that hasn't seen the series, the grids are completely mixed up too. So if you have a bad qualifier in a radical and qualify towards the back, you'll be starting at the back, so you'll have all the traffic to go through as well. So, and that's just because of excuse me, how difficult it is to organise the series on the hosted sessions. So Mark Lang, our league admin, has to do it in such a way so that we can work out points and things like that, and yeah, just having cars in multiple classes, multiple classes with single cars and then 3 cars in one class is really tricky. But we're able to sort of merge it together on our overlay. So, but it does make gridding quite difficult. You can't separate the gridding by class when all cars are in separate classes. So that's why they're all mixed up, just in case anyone wonders. I think they can do it fine for like the official series. Like if you watch the IMSA, it's no problem. They've done it like that, but there isn't a way to do it in the hosted sessions yet. So that's something they really, hopefully, iRacing can add very soon. Pretty short race really today, Scott. Shouldn't take too long, I would think. Well, I guess the timing's going to take just as long as it always does, but you know what I mean.
yeah. Looking based on the lap times, I reckon it's going to be a 23 lap race around here. It's a 45-minute race plus 1 lap, so yeah, it should be a good one. Lots of close battles out there, just with the nature of the track as well. Quite tight in certain sections as well. If some of the radicals get stuck behind the Corvette, obviously with the downforce, it'll be advantageous for the radical coming up through sector 1 and all the way into Spoon. But obviously with the GT1, they might be able to put a move into 130R. So yeah,
I'll be intrigued, to see if the radical can drive around some of these sort of slower cars, as we say, going into or sort of through the S's or places like Spoon and that. So, have they got enough downforce to be able to carry that much speed to drive around them? I guess time will tell. Right, mate, I think who we got out there, just a couple of cars. Jaden Borg and Ben Hackerson just trying to put their final improvements on. I'm pretty sure Ben's just come across the line, so that's him done. No improvement there, so it's just Borg. Where is Borg? He's coming into the final chicane now. Away, good exit out of there. Tricky corner, obviously, as the track dips away. Car can always get a little bit light. Does he improve? No. In that case, mate, take us through the grid.
Okay, so starting on the pole position, we got Ross Rizzo with a time of 155.381, starting alongside him in the Corvette GT1. Katerine Boafia, third place Anthony Winkelmann, Yasmin Yali starting on the second row, Josh Burden, Fanny Lazarati in sixth place, behind him Stephen McCade, Black Neck alongside Stephen. And Dika Ramamaluna in third place in class. Alongside him is Eustace Vries, Kevin Wang in the Radical, Patrick Morrow in the GT1, Federico Texeria, Min Park, Ben Hackerson. The first of the GT3s, Carlos Fu, Adam Zeitinger, and then there was Dan Benefield, Leonardo Lopez de Oliveira, Peter Sadler, we got Hins, and then we got Paul Nelson, Indra Ferianto, Borg. Apologies for the overlay. Where is it? Thompson, Arifin, Putra, Kremers, Kin Kyung, Simon Sanchez, Mark Lang, Hugo Silva, DK Lee, Weihan Chen, and that rounds out the field.
The dreaded switch over of server, as always.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Just a short little warm up. It's not even a lap, is it? Really, on the back straight just before 130R. So I would. It still amazes me that some tracks we have to do a whole lap. You know.
Road America comes to mind as
Yeah.
one of the long ones.
Oh yeah.
Thankfully, Spa being another track, being another short one, Nürburgring's a short one as well.
Bathurst as
Yeah,
well. It's a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we're just grateful that when we go to places like the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife,
That's it.
VIR. That's a full lap, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, from memory, I think it is.
Oh yeah, that's quite a long one actually. When you're at slow speed, it's so fast. You know what? I can't think the last time I've done a commentary on a VIR race. Everybody's avoiding it like the plague. Grid's pretty nicely mixed up. It was hard to tell exactly who was where in the classes based on the fact that everybody basically retired to the pits. They're like, right, that's my time.
It's also going to make got live timing available as well in the chat, so to see where your favourite driver is as well.
Yep, here we go then. The rough pace car ducks on into the pit lane. Rizzo bringing this race to a start. Lights it up. Gets a great start. Jumps pretty much everyone. Just caught napping a little bit there. So he's away at the front. No real issues with any GT1s. Oh, there's a massive cluster going into turn 1 right now. And someone was off. Who was that was around? Just narrowed down massively into turn 1. They were 4 wide trying to work their way through there, and yeah, the inevitable happened, and the poor little Radical trying to muscle his way in there just did not happen at all.
Yeah, and looking at the live timing, it was Yasmin Yali that got caught up in that forward situation, but yeah, most of the cars managing to get through, which is always great to see, and yeah, looks as though they're all spread out at the moment, giving loads of room just to get this race underway.
Yeah, poor Yali. He'll be a bit disappointed with that. Had a fairly decent qualifier and he's had good strong races all season long, but because work cut out for him today, gonna have to work his way back up through the field. Is his car? No, it looks like his car might be toast. It is indeed. So that's yeah. When you practice all week and then it's ended before you even reach turn 1, it's nothing worse. Absolutely got it. It's only trouble with sort of league races. The Winkleman in second place, faring third overall, but of course first in the GT1 category. Runs a little bit wide, 130R and spins. Caught the curb, doesn't quite do a 360, but yeah, he's in a position, tricky one now, trying to get the car back around. And oh, he's dropping down the order big time. 20th place, 21st place. I think he's going to end up and just side by side with one of the Mercedes GT3s, so Jaden, and he's into the runoff area and maybe into the pits. I didn't see him hit anything, Scott, so I'm surprised he's straight into the pits, but maybe he's just thinking, I'll do my splash now. Can he make it from here? That's the thing. On the fuel, I think he should be able to, so just do his mandatory stop now, get out of trouble and try and work it through, because obviously he's going to be stuck in traffic, so maybe a sensible move, but yeah, big mistake from our championship leader right now.
Yeah, definitely. It looked as though that he might have caught the Astro on the outside of the curve of 130R, and it is quite slippery there. And yeah, just trying to put that power down, get a good exit out of there, and yeah,
Battle
unfortunately
for the
moved
lead.
it.
Winkleman very, very close. I thought he was lining up a little overtake there, but just decides to pull out of it. But yeah, that curve also, Scott, like there's like quite a sort of a ridge, isn't it, when you go just over it. Like if you just drop your wheels just over the edge of the curve, that's when you get into all sorts of bother, because it kind of like tries to guide your car like a train track. And you know, when you if you just muscle the car back onto the circuit, it can get you a little bit loose. And the Corvettes, the first lap as well, the tyres are just a little bit cold, a little bit more greasy than I have to say sort of 2 laps once they've properly warmed through and pressures have built up. And yeah, it's just easy to make those little mistakes.
Yeah, definitely was. Yeah, it just looked as though that Winkelmann was lining up Rizzo into the Casio Triangle, but yeah, unfortunate. He unable to pull the move off, but Rizzo makes a small mistake, and Winkelmann will be looking for an opportunity as he pulls alongside, and yeah, Winkelmann up into first place at the moment. We'll see whether Winkelmann's able to hold the position, and into the braking zone he moves in and takes the line. So good overtake from Winkelmann, and moves up into first place.
Yeah, nice job from him. I was just having a look to see what else was going on, and I was keeping an eye on Bouquet because he was tucked up behind Luna, I think it was. And he decided that he was going to jump into the pits because he just wasn't able to overtake, and he could see that the guys were just getting away from him already in his class. So into the pits nice and early, and another one that's going to try and work his way through some of the traffic, but hopefully gain on the guys. But I have to say that seems like a risky move to me because he's got a lot of traffic that he's got to get by now.
Yeah, if he's able to catch up to the back quickly and get past the drivers in front of him, but yeah, it looks as though that he. So yeah, we'll just have to see whether he's able to get through the traffic.
Winkelmann around. It's been a problem for Winkelmann, Scott. See if we can find that and see what exactly happened, because well, he's dropping down the order, some big damage. I tell you what, it must have been shortly after the overtake, you know.
Yeah, I've just got it on replay at the moment, and yeah, coming up through Dunlop Curve. Just having a look at it now.
Oh yeah, the back just gets loose and it's going, and doesn't seem like you can see it going, and all of a sudden it finally bites on him into the wall hard, all the way down to 8th. Kevin hung around at the exit of 130R as well. Everybody's going to have to scramble to get out of the way of him. Like, oh, pick a line, and in the end, Kevin decides the better course of action is just to skate back to the pits because he's not going to get around anytime soon there. So a lot of errors out there at the moment. Another good little battle as well. Thomas Hinz v Leonardo de Oliveira. Oliveira in front, not defended the inside, so going to allow Thomas up the inside. Standard sort of stuff for Suzuka, but you have to make that happen. I think that's the key thing. And Oliveira perhaps just a little bit too courteous there, you know, could have blocked that up, move off a lot earlier, but maybe thinks that come back a little bit later on in this race.
Yeah, definitely. Just with the 40-ish degree track temperature, I think looking at some of the drivers, yeah, they might be struggling a little bit with the tyres overheating possibly, and yeah, it's just possibly making the cars over rotate, or just people getting too greedy and wanting to get on the power out of some of the fast sections. So yeah, it'll be good to see who manages the tyres the best, and yeah, towards the end of this race.
Good battle here as well between this is for 16th and 17th place. So Jaden Bourne and Verianto right now. And they've just tucked up behind them as well. They've got Putra there. So yeah, 3 cars, very very close. Mercedes v BMW. Got a Radical coming up behind them. That's Lazardri, who's recovering from a pit stop that he had earlier on. So they're recovering, but just coming back through the field. Always the frustration I find with the multi-class racing, trying to have your own battle as Verianto goes for the move, gets that done on board into the chicane, using the braking performance of the BMW. It's so good on the brakes, but doesn't get the best of run, and the power of the Merc just coming back into its own, and he's almost under pressure from getting overtaken by the next car as well. Doesn't quite happen. This is where the Radical's going to come flying through, we would expect as well. Oh, there's a spinner in the background. I'm not sure who that was. Just saw someone spinning in turn 1. I think that might...
Sean Thompson,
yeah,
in the Audi rat, so...
Well, I asked the question, would the Radical be able to drive around the outside? And Lazardri, well, he's struggling to do that through the S's and actually makes a little mistake. And that's opened him up for attack from Winkleman, who's also been into the pit. So Winkleman in, got himself a repair, 1 fast repair, worth adding again to all the newcomers to the series. And yeah, Winkleman back away, trying to work his way through this pack. But Lazardri really struggling. I think he's just more concerned he's going to hit these guys, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. He's going to bounce off them more than anything.
Yeah, it's just the massive braking performance, even though, even like you said, with the BMW having the braking performance over the Merc, but yeah, the Radical's got a whole nother level of braking performance compared to the GT3s, as Winkleman just makes his way past Borg there into 16th place overall.
Now Winkleman not struggling at all to get through the traffic. Lazardri being much more patient. He's been behind for about a lap and a half now as well, so just needs to time this well so that he can use the extra momentum that he can carry through the corners, get the slingshot on these guys. Much better acceleration than the Radical, but it's just the top speed that's not there. You can see he was clearly alongside, but then lost it going into... oh, it does go for a move. Yeah, he needed to commit to something to get through. And indeed he has. I'm sure he'll just he'll work his way through here. No reason, of course, to let them go through the GT3s. There's obviously right up the stake to see who can beat who, but and no one's going to lift to let a different class through. But yeah, he works his way through finally. So already up to 17th overall, but he lost 4.4 seconds on Winkleman, who was actually behind him before they joined this sort of queue of GT3s. Moving up the table, the order just a little bit. 13th and 14th having a good little battle at the moment. That is Peter Sattler and Thomas Inns. Sattler has in front of him Norzam and Zeitzinger. A good little battles for the GT3s, still being led by Ben Hackerson as well, so doing a good job out there. Daniel Benningfield is second place in class.
I just wasn't sure whether I saw Ben make a mistake in the Casio Triangle there, but yeah, manages to keep hold. And yeah, just have a look at the time. Yeah, he was second slower on that lap compared to Benefield's 2:03.0 for Hackerson.
Inns with a move into turn 1. Sorry, Scott, to cut you off if you've got that. Up and through. Again, pretty sort of standard stuff. Used the slipstream, got past it, now got Winkleman just behind those guys as well, just flying through this field. Still quite a bit slower than Ross Rizzo out there, so the forced early pit stop because of the damage and the time he lost on that lap being so slow. I don't think he's going to get that back. That doesn't want to give up on the place he lost to Thomas Hinz through turn 1 as well. Trying to stay with him right now. Just to take stock for a second as well, Ross Rizzo 4.2 seconds in the lead, so looking fairly comfortable out there. I wouldn't say too much more, still half an hour of this race to go, of course. Blake Neck in second place overall, but of course first in the GT1 class, looking very, very good. He's got Maluna behind him, who's struggling with some connection issues at the moment. So, well, we thought that it was going to be a radical sort of domination at the front, but you know, second, third, fourth, fifth, they're all GT1, Scott.
Yeah, I think it's with the forced pit stop of Winkleman and the issue that Yali had at the start has kind of forced that GT1 domination at the front. Obviously, Ross Rizzo storming out to a lead at the front. Actually, quite surprising that the GT1s are actually similar pace compared to the Radical over the course of a lap. So yeah, it's a great job by all the GT1 guys to stay within relative pace of the Radical.
Yeah, me too. I'm really shocked around here. So I would have thought the Radical really would have been on its in its element, you know, 3-4 seconds quicker, but not quite producing the downforce levels that we thought, really. Benningfield obviously has just let Winkleman through. Winkleman up to 10th place overall, and just 1.1 seconds behind Ben Hackerson, a GT3 class leader. And looking at lap times, Hackerson and Benfield pretty much spot on for pace, nothing between them, you know, hundredths of seconds if anything.
And then the Zeitinger and Nirazam just a couple of tenths slower, but also gap between them was about 2 seconds, so yeah, it's fairly spread evenly compared to through the GT3 field.
Yeah, we're coming through. Definitely the first of our cars to have a pit stop, so 39.3 seconds behind the leader. Quite a way. I'm not sure what the pit stop time was. Have we got that off of our live timing? Has that been available? So
Yeah,
Winkleman stopped then, so pit lane time was 29.38 seconds, so he's about 10 seconds off of our leader. That's going to put him roughly about a net third place at the moment when everything cycles through. We'll keep an eye on that, see if he can get any further, but that wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, 10 seconds, still a lot to catch up, and that time's still just not really matching Ross Rizzo out there.
Just as he makes his way back past Carlos, as he gives him using the space into Dignal 1, so yeah, he's P8 overall now, and yeah, just making his way through the traffic as fast as he can, so it's a good job from him so far.
Lazardri still trying to work his way through the GT3 traffic. Although, am I seeing that he might have been in the pits again? He's already got past these guys, hadn't he? I'm sure we've got past like Sattler and Borg and people like that. So Lazardri into the pits for a second time.
Yeah,
Someone
I did
off
see
as
that
well. Who's that rejoining? So that's the Pucha there as well.
No, it was Arafin. Arafin behind him. Apologies, no. Yeah, but yeah, it was one of the radicals. But yeah, looking at, I think I saw that Lazardri's had a poor lap. I wasn't sure whether it was in the pits, but I did see a 2-minute 12 or so lap time. So must have been a spin or something like that that he incurred, and yeah, just finally makes his way back through the GT3 traffic, and yeah, the next car in front of him is about 4 seconds in front in Leonardo Lopez de Oliveira.
Into the pits for Matthew Cloak there as well. So Matt in and away, 1.4 seconds stationary. Just check, see how he did.
Yeah, he's back out
30,
in 18.
yeah, so 30.87. So that seems to be roughly about where the radicals are at. 30 seconds for the pit lane. So, just not going to be enough for Winkelmann. Lost a little bit more time that lap, so definitely pulling himself in a range to look at, potentially, well, second in class, but top 3 overall. Oh, I'm just seeing a bit of contact between Oliveira and Matthew Kloot there as well, going through Dunlop. Both drivers survived, just a little bit of sort of side door banging, and they got a little loose for a minute, but everybody okay.
Yeah, to see that's brought Lazardri back in the picture as well. Yeah, it's yeah, I think just Chloe just kind of make his obviously reset after the pit stop, and yeah, just try and get ahead out of that in front of the GT3 car, just so that he wouldn't get held up further on in the race. But yeah, unfortunate that he had that contact there.
Recovering fair there as well. Up to 10th place, moves himself past Dan Benfield. He's of course had his pit stop. Finds himself 51 seconds behind lead, which puts him, what, 46 seconds behind Blake Neck. Again, let's check, see what the GT1s are doing in the pits lane. Hard to tell, it looks like it's just radicals that have been in at the moment.
Yeah, it is at the moment.
Apart from him, of course.
Yeah.
And a 0.3 second stop, so confusing the timing screen somehow.
Yeah. Just looking at the battle for 16th and 17th place between, sorry, 15th and 16th between Thomas Hinz and Peter Sadler. Looks as though that Peter Sadler closed in about a tenth of a second last time by, and definitely on the heels of Thomas there, trying to get on the in the top 5 in class. As yeah, he's making his way up to Spoon there, but yeah, he's definitely trying to force the pressure onto Hinz to make a mistake and close in on that 15th place overall.
Getting word, obviously there might be a tiny little glitch with the live timing, as our leader has been shown as a lap down. But I'm not seeing him on there at all.
As yeah, we see Sattler and Hinz diving into the pit, so it's going to be a battle of the stops really to see who takes the least amount of fuel. We've still got 22 minutes left of the race to go, so.
Well, just to confirm then, so anyone looking at the live time and getting a little bit confused on there, Ross Rizzo is still out there, and we'll bring him up on screen and show you that. So no issues for him, but I'm not quite sure why he was not showing on the timing screen. But there he is, back on there, so yeah, very strange.
Possible connection issues with the server. I'm not exactly sure what the go is there, but yeah, as you say, yeah, still currently leading, coming up lap 12. So yes, still 6.3 seconds in front of Black Neck in the leader in GT1, and I think Winkelmann further, currently 40 seconds behind. Yeah, it's Winkelmann coming into 130R now, so yeah, it looks as though that Rizzo can go into cruise mode for a little bit, but yeah, still has to pit as well, so Winkelmann will be fast on himself with we've got 20 minutes to go in this race.
I think I've been spoilt really or the race for us has been spoilt by Winkelmann's little mistake. I'm sure it's been spoiled for him as well. But yeah, these guys are lapping very, very similar pace as well, so it would have been an absolute fantastic race between them. Such a shame, but yeah, they're still 10 seconds apart once the pit stops are done. That is, of course, unless Rizzo has a mistake. I mean, he could afford to do just a little, you know, a little sort of extra stop or anything like that, a little mistake where it's maybe 4 or 5 seconds, but you know, get speeding penalty, then it will all change around. So he still needs to make sure he gets things right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially with the Suzuka being one of those proper old school tracks where there's not much runoff. Yeah, it's definitely a thing to watch out for with the mistakes, as they can add up during the course of the race. But yeah, Ross has a 10-second buffer relative to the pit stop at the moment, just in case he has a speeding penalty as well, because that can incur a rough 15-second pit lane penalty. So yeah, it can be all undone in one fail swoop as well. So.
What have we got here? So Ben Hackinson has done his pit stop now, so he comes out what looks like as third overall in the GT3 class, tucked up behind Arfin right now in his Audi. I have to say, lapping considerably slower than Ben, so I think Ben should make fairly light work of him here and move back over to second in class. Hearing a little bit of contact in my ear from somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where that was from. Couldn't see anyone close, so
yeah, it's just a radical off in front. Car of Kevin Wang, just out of the 180R, having a little off-track excursion, but yeah, it manages to gather it back up and be on his way out of the spin curve now.
Another little battle. These guys been inseparable all race, so 19th and 20th. Thomas Hinz and Peter Sattler. .3 of a second between them as they go into 130R. Another car off to the right coming out of there, so another victim. It looks like Carlos Fu. Maybe not. That might have been a pit stop. Who was that? Got any idea who that was on the side there? You know what? I think it was Dan Benefield.
Yeah, it looks as though he's fallen down the order quite quite a bit. So Benefield
Get a
apparently.
replay of that, I think. So back about a minute or so was when it happened. Into 130R he goes. Caught the curb on the inside, pushes a little bit wide. Same thing again as what we saw in lap 1. The car gets caught on the curb, gets him loose and just fires him into the wall, and then he just gets it off track very, very quickly. Good sensible driving from Dan there, but yeah, unfortunate for the mistake. He was definitely in contention, still lapping good times along with Hackerson, so those guys have been pretty close.
Yeah, just that a few millimeters too wide, and yeah, can bite that curb as mentioned previously during this race. But yeah, I'm actually quite surprised that it's bitten the amount of drivers that it has. So not normally we
I
would
would have
see
thought
many
it'd have been more
mistakes.
likely to spin the radicals out than the big old GT cars that should just eat up like curbs like that, but yeah, apparently not in this case.
Yeah.
Big shout out and thank you to everybody that's watching us on YouTube and on iRacing Live, of course. If you like what we do, hit that like button, don't be afraid. It helps us out big time. And of course, if you want to keep up to all of the different broadcasts that we've got going on, subscribe to the channel and you'll get your notifications. Yeah, we've got a lot going on at the moment as well. Scott, just take a second to go over that while I can't see too much going on the track right now. So up later on today, we of course have got the Euro V8 Supercar Series as well. So 2 races, a sprint race and then a feature race. After that, we have got the BSR Kia Cup. So that should be a good one. And then over on Sunday, starts off with IMSA at 16:45 GMT, and then busy Sunday after that because I think it's the Club 73 series as well. So Jettas and Kias multi-class, and actually very, very fun to watch because there's quite a gap between them. So got all the front wheel drive action, and of course it's the BSR MX5 Cup Series race as well, starting at 8 o'clock, and Club 73 8:30, so 2000 GMT. But yeah, lots on this weekend, Scott. Monday night, the Porsche Club and the ASRC Sports Car Championship as well. So yeah, it's non-stop action. Tuesday, Formula Renault. So yeah, and then we start all over again.
It's yeah, lots of great series coming up on Apex Racing TV, and it's always good to catch those either live or in replay as well. So it'll also always be in the subscription box if you hit that subscribe button. So yeah, it's yeah, just following up on that Formula Renault series. It's always been good to catch that back, even though that the time zone hasn't been as best suited to me. Been great to see the happenings in that series as well.
Yeah, been a lot of fun, that series, and I think drivers are slowly starting to figure themselves out and how they need to run that series. Obviously not just your traditional sprint race there with reverse grids and everything, so makes for some interesting watching. If you like some carnage and things like that, well, you'll get that. Well, Hackerson under no real pressure now in GT3, so he's happy. Luna hasn't pitted, Blake Nick hasn't pitted either, so they're still first and second in the GT1 category. Rizzo has pitted now, we missed that one, but no real issues there. He had a quick stop. Winkleman is 14 odd seconds behind him, so that must have been a really quick pit lane for Rizzo. Let me just check, see if we can see that on the 30 seconds. Just Winkelmann lost a little bit more time with traffic, I would guess. Yeah, if you want to find a little bit more information about this series, well, I'll tell you what we'll do is we will link you the thread in the chat. Mark, happily invite you guys along. But all the rules and information there, of course, is well underway now in the series. But yeah, Sim Racers Asia have been around for ages. This sort of time slot for longer than I can remember now, I think, Scott.
Yeah, it's actually been. I first signed up for this series back in season 3, 2014. So yeah, the intro video that was playing through at the start of the broadcast was actually my first race associated with the series, and yeah, it's been a fantastic series ever since I've been involved in with the Sim Racers Asia league, whether it be through broadcasting or racing. So Mark and the admins over at Sim Racers Asia do a fantastic job every week and every season. It's always good to see the happenings in with what Sim Racers Asia gets up to.
Yeah, I do remember that intro, that race where all that footage was captured, and that was an interesting one to say the least. The night race, the GT1s really struggled with warming their tyres up from a standing start, and they were through night conditions at them as well, and they were slipping and sliding all over the place. Confirm as well, the questions on chat. Yes, unfortunately, it is on an Aussie server, so if you are sort of based in Europe and that, it can be a little bit tricky, especially with the netcode. But the bulk of the drivers are from that neck of the woods. Ten minutes to go, Scott. Can't really see an awful lot going on out there. Expecting many changes or anything else?
Not really in terms of in-class position, but yeah, Winkelmann just coming up to 5th place of Used to Freeze, and lap, I think, Adam's team in the Pros Force Racing car there, so into Spoon there, just yeah, making his way through the traffic and filling P6 overall. Only 4/10 behind Used to Freeze at the moment, but yeah, he'll look to get the advantage into the Casio Triangle, or even earlier, possibly. So yeah, it looks as though the Corvette's got the grunt to stay ahead at least into 130R, but
that's where the difference is right there. And then on the brakes, so. And Winkelmann's been able to pull that move off several times as well in this race. Just knows that he can position his car right, he can carry the extra speed and come off the 130R a lot tighter, get that move done, and then just uses the fact that the Radical's really light and nimble to brake a little bit later and get that pass. So yeah, he's got 8 minutes 45 to see if he can get back onto the actual podium. That's going to be a bit tricky. What is he, about 15 seconds off of that right now? So can't see that happening. But he is lapping when he gets it right, about 2 seconds a lap faster. So yeah, it's not far off.
yeah, definitely not. We'll just see if there's any other close battles. We got Katerine Guafia about 1 second behind. Used to Freeze, the battle for 6th place at the moment, as yeah, he cuts Signal 1 beautifully and closes up quite a lot, actually, 3/10 in that little sector alone. So yeah, Guafia definitely trying to push hard for that 6th place. As Used to Freeze makes a small mistake and yeah, gathers it up, and Guafia manages to see that little mistake and close right up to the Freeze in front.
Yeah, it could be a good little battle. Of course, was our pole sitter in class. obviously having to recover from the mistakes that he made earlier on. And into the pits comes Blake Neck as well, so he's going to give up some positions. Good short stop. Well, I'll say that 4 seconds, but he's away. Patrick Morrow into the pits as well. Where's Maluna? Maluna's coming around start-finish line now, so it's a whole straight behind Blake, so no chance of that swapping around. The Winkleman trying to work through some traffic right now as well. So that puts him now in 4th place, as Morrow drops down to 7th. 3.6 seconds behind Maluna, so he might well make a podium.
It'll be very, very close with 6.5 minutes that we've got on the clock left. It just depends on when Ross Rizzo crosses the line to see whether we actually get that the extra lap in.
Shout out to you guys as well. iRacing. Always a pleasure to see you on the chat, and also sharing our broadcast links on Facebook as well. Much appreciated. Yeah, still just this closest battle going on at the moment. Scott, I think so. Hughes is there trying to hold on to the lap times. He was nearly a second a lap slower that time as well, so it's going to be a tall order. 5 minutes 20 seconds left of this race. Well, used to on those laps just gone quickly, I think. Yeah, that timer countdown. Maybe he'll want to make sure that Rizzo doesn't get an extra lap or anything like that. Use some of the slipstream with the GT3 that's ahead of him to defend this time. He does. What he needs is to catch that traffic just at the right time, so only that he can get by.
Yeah, it's all been about the traffic management through the course of the race, and yeah, as you say, yeah, both of those drivers making it through the GT3, but yeah, used to freeze, unable to take the advantage of the lap traffic, and yeah, Gawafia still hot on the heels of the car in front, just 0.2 of a second back. So yeah, definitely applying the pressure there to see whether he can get past within the next 4 or so minutes of this race.
Not too much else going on as well, just having a little scout through to see what else we've got. A couple of seconds basically separating everyone else now, so I thought we were, honestly, so I thought we were going to be on for a little bit of a thriller today. I thought packs would be really, really close. Just the nature of the track making it difficult to get by, and yeah, that's not been the case really. Everybody's just spread quite a way apart.
Yeah, it could be a combination of just the hot track and the tyre conditions as well. It's been evident that some of the drivers have been struggling as Wafia thinks of a move, but yeah, thinks better of it into 130R. But yeah, as some of the conditions have caught some of the drivers out, and yeah, as you say, it's yeah, spread the pack out as we've still got 27 cars on the track at the moment. But yeah, as we've got 8 or 9 retirements tonight, so yeah, it has caught out some of the drivers, but yeah, still good to see the amount of finishes so far.
Yeah, we have lost, possibly because he's back into the pits again, Sean Thompson. We'll see if he comes back out again, but certainly serving something now. It says 4 pit stops, so he's got some damage. DK Lee we lost a little while ago. Carlos Fu, Peter Sattler. We missed what happened to Sattler. Daniel Benningfield, Matthew Blue, Jaden Borg, Paul Nelson. Again, didn't see what happened to Paul, but that must have been fairly early, because I haven't seen him on the timing screen for absolutely ages. Martin Kramers and Joshua Borden as well. Burden, sorry. Yeah, so a few retirements. I think that's kind of like what we would expect from a race around Suzuka, I think.
Yes, one of those classic drivers' tracks, I think. So it's definitely a challenging one for the drivers out there, and obviously the cream of the crop will rise to the front. So it's always good to see.
Still looks like we're not going to see a move for this at the moment. So where wants that podium class? Oh, gets a little bit out of shape. Really trying to put a little bit of pressure on now. I thought he'd settled in for a little moment, but is he going to get a run into 130? Yeah, he's definitely getting some slipstream, pulls out, looks at it, can't quite get his nose up the inside, so decides to bail out that move, but perhaps a little bit too much, as he's now 7/10 of a second behind. So yeah, far too generous for pulling out of it there. And De Vries makes a little mistake going through the chicane. That puts him back on his back foot, went in too hot all of a sudden. And he's under pressure once again. 0.2 of a second, 1/10, pulls out, has a little look, and yeah, it doesn't happen. That was a slam dunk overtake there. If Buffet hadn't just lifted all that much and dropped to 7/10, so if he just followed him through 130R, then he would have had that place no problem.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a killer when you're halfway up the inside. But yeah, you have to give way to the position. But yeah, he's all over the back of De Vries at the moment. Yeah, he runs a bit wide and compromise the run through Dunlop there. But yeah, we've got 15 seconds left. I'm just gonna have to back away from this battle at the moment just to check where the leader is at the moment.
Yeah, he's just heading through Spoon at the moment, so this will be the last lap. So as the timer counts down, white flag will be shown. Because they will get the information, of course. This is going to be his final one. Sometimes they allow him to go through, don't they, after the clock finishes 0, but very rare. And yeah, this certainly isn't going to be one of them. Far too long has expired. It just comes through the chicane one final time. Hasn't put a foot wrong even, or race long, and fully deserves the victory. Ross Rizzo here in the Racers Asia Proto-GT Series. I'm pretty sure in the background we can see Ben Hackerson having a little weave. He comes across and takes the GT3 class victory, and then we're just waiting for Blake Neck. There he comes across the start-finish line. Blake, again, faultless drive, deserves that overall victory. What's going on in that battle, Scott? We picked that up. Oh, they're very close, but I think as they were, indeed they are. So De Vries holds on to that position, and podium in class.
Yeah, it's been a great battle between those two drivers all the way through that last 10-15 minutes there. But yeah, as you mentioned, yeah.
I'm watching something a bit further back. Simon Sanchez, 22nd place. Looked like he was trying to put a little move on a bit further back. Got himself all sorts of loose on the grass, braking, going into Spoon. And yeah, well, he hasn't lost any places in class, because it was just, I'll tell you what, he had a chance to overtake Mark Lang, who's actually in BMW. I don't know why I thought Mark was in a GT1. So, but yeah, manages to survive at least the final lap. That could have been an race ending mistake there from Sanchez, but got away with that one.
Yeah, definitely a tricky corner on the entry there to Spoon, but yeah, manages to cross the line there in 20th place. As yeah, we got Leonardo Lopez de Oliveira coming home in 21st place overall, and yeah, it looks as though the last car on the track is Wei Han Chan running up the field in the GT1.
line cutting across there as well. The penalty that he's just got before he goes through. Or maybe he's finished already. Yes. Right. Newton, take us through the final standings, if you would.
Okay, so taking the overall win for Pro Force Racing, Ross Rizzo in the Radical SR8. Second place overall and class leader Blake Neck for Evolution Racing Australia, Andika Ramabaluna, Anthony Winkleman, Eusta Fries, Katarine Boafia, Patrick Murray, Stephen Bocade, Federico Teixeira, Fanny Lazardri, Kevin Wang, Yasmin Yali, and GT3 winner Benjamin Hackerson, Thomas Hins, Adam Zeitinger, Indra Ferianto, Ahmad Nirazam, Putra, Arifin Kin Keong, Mark Lang, and Simon Sanchez running at the top 10 in GT3. Leonardo Lopez de Oliveira, Wei Han Chen, Sean Thompson, Min Park, Hugo Silva Jr., and then the retirements of DK Lee, Carlos Fu, Peter Sadler, Dan Benefield, Jaden Borg, Matthew Kilowit, Paul Nelson, Martin Kremers, and Josh Burton running out the field.
Right, thank you for that, Scott. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was exactly the most exciting race we've had in the Sim Racers Asia series, or even the Proto-GT series. So, but still, a good race out there, and Rizzo again really showing strong form at the moment. Winkleman shows that he has got the pace, but just needs to iron out those little mistakes. Just got the lead and threw it away. What was it? 3, 4 corners later. Hackerson, very, very strong again today, looking very good. That's not going to do any harms to his championship chances as well. Blake Nick looking very, very good. Maluna also strong in that same category, and Buffet very strong. Again, just a little bit unfortunate that lap 1 incident caught on the train track curb that's there and around. But yeah, overall, I think should make the championship a little bit closer. Where are we heading after this? So it's Mid Ohio next week. That's going to be quite interesting because that's even narrower and harder to overtake than here. So I would probably say there's nowhere really for the GT1 to stretch its legs. You know, that back straight's still quite short. Again, I'm thinking that's probably going to be a radical sort of dominated track, but who knows? Certainly wasn't the case today.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, as you say, Mid Ohio next week. Yeah, definitely a radical suited track, just with the nature of the sector 2 and 3 being lots of fast corners, undulating as well, with that that double left-hander as you're coming over the hill, and then that fast-flowing final sector as well. But obviously the GT1 and the GT3 will be hot on the heels, and that'll be a very, very close battle as well.
Cool, right. No one's really coming for a chat with us, Scott, so we'll wrap the show up and just thank everybody for tuning in and watching. Always appreciate that, and for liking and sharing. Good to see you doing that as well. Don't forget, of course, we'll be back this afternoon here at Apex Racing TV for the Euro V8 Supercar Series. That should be fun and exciting. Shortly after that, we also have the BSR Kia Series as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. Tune in to Apex Racing TV for both of those. But from myself and from Scott here as well, we wish you a good weekend and enjoy your racing out there, guys. And we'll catch you next week when we hit Mid Ohio for another round of the Sim Racers Asia Proto-GT Series.